Duck on a Tractor by David Shannon. Down on the farm, Duck sometimes got wild ideas. One day he decided he could ride a bike, so he did. Then he spotted the tractor. I bet I can drive a tractor, he said. The other animals weren't so sure, but they all said, well, if he can ride a bike, maybe he can drive a tractor too. Duck climbed on the tractor and looked around. He pushed some pedals and wiggled a metal stick, but nothing happened. Then a shiny little piece of metal by the steering wheel caught his eye. He pulled it out. He pushed it in. Then he turned it. It's a key, I think. All of a sudden, the tractor shook and coughed and rumbled. It began to move. At first, it moved very slowly and it jerked a lot, but it was fun. Duck drove round the barnyard until he got the hang of it. Then he stopped in front of the other animals. "Climb on, everybody!" shouted Duck. Dog was first. He jumped right up next to Duck. "Woof," said Dog. But what he thought was, "We're going for a ride." To everyone's surprise, Cow clambered on next. "Moo," said Cow. But what she thought was, "This is the silliest thing I've ever done." Pig and Pig, they're both named Pig, took a seat in back. "Oink," said Pig and Pig. But what they thought was, "This sure beats walking." Then came Chicken, Mouse, and Goat. "Squawk," said Chicken. That's not a chicken. A chicken doesn't say squawk. A chicken says "Gah!" But what she thought was, "Last one on is a rotten egg." Get it? Rotten egg. Chickens lay eggs. Ha! "Squeak," said Mouse. But what she thought was, "I can see everything from up here." Because mice are very short and tractors are up high. So she had a clear view of everything. You see, a mouse, when it looks down, doesn't see very much at all. It just sees what is in front of it, usually the floor. There's really never anything else. "Meh," said the Goat. But what he thought was, "I'm hungry. Does the garbage dump have a drive-through window?" Next up were Horse and Cat. Cat jumped gracefully onto the tractor. Cats don't jump any other way, in my experience. Horse, not so much. Some horses are graceful, but this one was not. "Meow," said Cat. But what she thought was, "I was going to take a nap, but this should be very interesting." Horses always blow their lips at the end. Said Horse, but what he thought was, "I think I'd rather walk." See, that's the face of a horse that doesn't want to go on a ride on a tractor. The only one left on the ground was Sheep. "Bah!" Because her eyes are wide open. Look at this. The sheep's floating through the air. "Bah!" said Sheep. But what she thought was, "This is too dangerous." "Get on, Sheep," everybody shouted. But Sheep wouldn't budge. So Duck started driving away without her. "Wait," cried Sheep, "don't leave me here all alone." She ran after the tractor and took a flying leap onto it. "Blah!" That's her flying leap, see. "Blah!" "Quack!" yelled Duck. But what he thought was, "Wahoo!" Duck steered the tractor down the lane and out onto the main road. And before long, they were driving right through the middle of town. It was lunchtime, so most people were in the diner. They all looked up when Duck and the other animals passed by the big window. A little boy named Edison was having lunch with his grandma. "Did you ever?" Grandma gasped. But what she thought was, "A duck on a tractor? That's impossible." "That's totally awesome!" Edison shouted. "Awesome!" But what he thought was, "No one's gonna believe this." I seen the waitress looked up from a pad and noticed Cat. "Heavens to Betsy!" she exclaimed. But what she thought was, "I like cats." See, that's my scene. She's a cat lady, as they're known. Deputy Bob blabbered, "If that don't beat all." But what he thought was, "How am I going to explain this to the sheriff?" A man named Otis chimed in. I must be seeing things! But what he thought was, oh no, not again! Holy cow! Hollered Manny the cook, but what he thought was, holy cow! Manny usually said exactly what he thought. The mayor almost choked on his pie. Good gravy, he sputtered. But what he thought was, those pigs are even fatter than I am. Quirky just whistled. But what he thought was, that duck is smarter than he looks. Gwen came out of the restroom. Would you look at that? She exclaimed. But what she thought was, I can't see a thing without my glasses. See, that's Gwen right there. She's coming out of the restroom and she's squinting her eyes to try and see, but she can't see anything without her glasses. Farmer Odell observed, that's a dang nice tractor. But what he thought was, hey, wait a minute, that's my tractor. That's Farmer Odell and his tractor realization face. He just realised they're driving his own tractor. Kind of funny he didn't recognise all his barnyard animals. You'd think that feeding them every day you would become more familiar with their faces. He decided he'd better go after it and ran out the door. Everyone else ran out too and chased after him. There they all go! Quick, everybody chase after him! By this time, Doc had turned onto the next street. The tractor shuddered to a stop. Duck tried turning the shiny little piece of metal again. Nothing happened. I don't know much about spelling, said Dog, but I think that E means it's the end of our ride, 'cause end begins with E. Sheep cleared her throat. You know, she said, I think we might get in trouble for this. Let's get out of here, yelled Duck, just as Farmer Odell and everyone from the diner came around the corner. Oh, Gwen found her glasses. Look, there's Gwen. She's not squinting anymore. Look, a piece of lettuce is hanging from his face. Everyone burst out laughing. No, they all said, it couldn't have been. It was an optical illusion, exclaimed Otis. That means your eyes played a trick on you. Farmer Odell said he must have left his tractor running by accident. I guess that explains it, Deputy Bulb agreed, because Deputy Bulb has to tell the sheriff what happened. Then they all went back to the diner to finish their lunches. And no one ever admitted that on that day they had seen a cow, a goat, a cat, a dog, a sheep, a chicken, a horse, 2 pigs, a mouse, squeak, 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 and a duck. On a tractor. The end. Look, they're all gallivanting back to the farm so they don't get in trouble for taking the tractor.
That's Duck on a Tractor. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below the video.
Pig, but what they thought was, this sure beats walking. Then came the chicken, mouse, goat, squawk, said chicken, but she was thought, the last one's a rotten egg. I'm not gonna read it that way. That's the end of that one. Because end begins with E.